Lobbying and mobilizing are two essential tools for cause-specific campaigns. So, how do we go about educating people and translating that into change? The first thing you have to do is examine your cause. And for that, you have to ask yourself two questions. Firstly, if there was a public vote today, which way will it swing? Will it favor your cause or go against it? And secondly, do people feel strongly enough about the issue in order to want to create that change? Let me give you an example. For example, most of us would agree that planting trees are good for the environment by and large, right? But however, if you have a specific campaign to lobby the government to say spend $6 million on a local tree planting project, then people will probably not agree with that. So yeah, once you get this out of the way, then you can start planning your campaign. So now I'm going to talk about these two essential tools. So firstly, what is lobbying? Lobbying is essentially the signing of petitions in the most simple sense for common people like you and I. It's the signing of petitions to say that you agree with a particular issue. The main advantage for that is people will tend to follow suit. For example, if you actually have a particular list petition, if you see that other people have put their name down to show support for that issue, you're more likely to put yours as well. And the other advantage is that by and large, it saves time compared to the alternative, which I'll talk about in a while. The main disadvantage is that you can be identified and that your personal details may be distributed elsewhere. And some people are simply not secure about that because when you sign a petition, you have to put your name, your contact number, email address, sometimes even physical address. So this is one of the main disadvantage of that. And how about the alternative? Mobilizing people. So what mobilizing is getting people to the ground for a specific rally for that issue. And a rally can be seen of as a peaceful protest. And I have to emphasize that if you do go about this, your protest has to be peaceful. It can't end up in a riot where you end up torching cars of random other people just because they are there. It has to be peaceful. The main advantage of this is that it shows that people care enough to actually be mobilized on onto a certain area and talk about the issue. That's what it shows. And it's also in a sense better for educating people. It brings about an open discussion forum. So for example, if you do go to one of these rallies, you can actually speak to people of different political inclinations or different special interests, and then you get a more well-rounded view of the topic rather than just what you read in the newspapers. But of course, this approach also has got its disadvantage. People who are mobilized are sometimes perceived as being, loony, left-wing, crazy people. So that's a main disadvantage. And the other one is that you could be identified on TV, and unfortunately that has happened to me before. Well, fortunately, unfortunately, I don't really care, right? But then a camera has gone past my face before, and I was featured at least for a split second being at a particular rally. Right, so then why should we use a two-pronged approach for both mobilization as well as lobbying? So you have to think of it from the viewpoint of a politician. And I strongly do believe, not everyone will agree with me, but I actually believe that not all politicians are only in for the money and the power. Of course, there might be some which are, but I don't believe that all of them are. However, at the end of the day, the currency that you and I, the common people, have is still the vote. And that is ultimately what they're chasing. So just imagine this. If their thinking is somewhat aligned with yours, and if they can show heart, then that gets translated into votes. Doesn't that make sense? So by seeing that people are concerned about an issue on paper, i.e., lobbying, petitions, and they care enough about the issue to be mobilized at the rallies, then that is when they can actually be convinced to act upon it based on the idea that they believe that people care about this issue that much. So this is all I have to say today. I'm sorry that my voice is a little raspy because I was a bit too rowdy at the football last night. So yeah, have a good day and I hope this helps. Thank you.